What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Primetime Sports Podcast, hosted by Joey Mailari. So today is Game 3 of the wild card round of the MLB playoffs, which is pretty crazy considering the fact that 10 of the last 12 wild card series that were 3-game sets were sweeps. And when you look at it this year, there are 3 series out of 4 that will be playing a Game 3 today. So exciting time for the MLB. It seems like should be a great day of baseball, and I do apologize. I am outside right now recording this podcast, so I apologize if you hear any cars going by or people walking by. But I'm going to break down how the series have gone so far. I'll talk about the Dodgers and the Reds very quick. Really isn't too much to say there besides the Dodgers just being the Dodgers and finding a way to win. And then I will mention the other series as well and talk about Game 1 and 2 and how things went in those. So we can start out with the Dodgers and the Reds very quick. There was a report that came out that the Reds pitchers were supposedly tipping their pitches, which obviously gives the Dodgers an advantage. They can see kind of the way pitchers were gripping the ball, and they can kind of guess whether it's a fastball or a breaking ball coming, and that obviously gives the batter an advantage. This would be the first time this season that the Reds were being looked at potentially tipping their pitches and giving their opposing teams an advantage. When the Red Sox played against the Reds at Fenway Park, I remember Chase Burns, who is a great pitcher and throws gas, was getting lit up by the Red Sox, and I think he was taken out sometime in the first inning. I think he only recorded 1 out, if I remember correctly. And there was a report after that the Red Sox were picking up on his pitches and just basically seeing the way he was gripping the ball or the way his windup was, certain ways. He would kind of lean his body one way or the other when he was throwing a fastball or a breaking ball. So that's on the Reds to figure that out and not let that happen. That's the problem at the end of the day. You can't fault the Dodgers for being able to read which pitch is going to be coming, whether it's a fastball or a breaking ball, just based on the way he moves his glove or the way his hand kind of moves as he's trying to, feel around for the ball in his glove. You can't really blame the Dodgers for that, but that was a report that came out. The Dodgers took care of business in this series, winning Game 1 10-5, and then winning Game 2 8-4. Really not too much to say in this series. I was a little bit shocked. Thought the Reds would give them a little bit more of a pushback, but that wasn't the case. Last night, Yamamoto was awesome in the mound for the Dodgers. 6 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 runs, none of them being earned, and 4 hits allowed. Roki Sasaki pitched last night for the Dodgers in the 9th inning, going a scoreless 9th. Very chill and easy 9th, getting 3 outs with 2 of those being strikeouts, 11 pitches and 9 strikes. He looked awesome, throwing absolute gas, well over 100 for some of those pitches as well. It's good to see the Dodgers getting him some work at the major league level. I know he struggled early on in the season and then was out with an injury and then was in the minor leagues even struggling, but good to see them give him another chance, and maybe he could be a potential threat for them out of the bullpen and be a big asset for them later on in the playoffs. So now we'll move along and talk about the Tigers and the Guardians. They have Game 3. The first pitch today will be at 3:08 p.m. Jack Flaherty is on the mound for Detroit. He is 8-15 on the year, 4.64 ERA, and a 1.28 WHIP. Versus Slade Cecconi. Cecconi on the year, 7-7 record, 4.3 ERA with a 1.19 WHIP. Flaherty's last 2 outings were both against Cleveland. He was 0-2 with a 3.86 ERA, 10 strikeouts to 4 walks, and 9 1/3 innings. As for Slade Cecconi, he has started 2 games against Detroit this season, a 1-1 record for him with a 1.25 WHIP and a 2.25 ERA with 8.3 strikeouts per 9 innings. A quick recap of Games 1 and 2. The Tigers won Game 1 by the score of 2-1. Tarek Skubal was fantastic in this game for Detroit, going 7 2/3 innings on the mound. He struck out 14 batters, allowed only 3 walks, allowed just 3 hits in that game, and also allowed just 1 earned run. That was a career high in strikeouts for Skubal. And then on the other side, Gavin Williams pitched well for the Guardians, pitched well in 6 innings of work, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits, 2 runs allowed, none of them being earned. He gave the Guardians a chance to win this game. He did his job at the end of the day. The Guardians had a chance to tie the game in the top of the 9th inning. Jose Ramirez reached third base on a throwing error by Javier Baez. A runner on third, no outs. It's a prime spot to get the run across and tie the game. But Ramirez was tagged out going home and a ground ball back to the pitcher, and that ended up being the big turning point in that inning, where if you have a guy on third base, no outs, you're in a big situation to at least tie the game. At that point, there was 1 out. And then Jose Ramirez, as he's running down the third baseline, was the 2nd out of the inning, and that kind of just ended the game there for the Guardians. As for Game 2, though, the Guardians bounced back. They won that game 6-1 yesterday in a dominant effort. Tanner Bybee was on the mound for the Guardians. Looked very good. 1 earned run in 4 2/3 innings pitched. 6 strikeouts and 3 walks. Did his job at the end of the day. The Guardians were tied 1-1 until a 5-run bottom of the 8th inning, which included 2 home runs in that inning. The Guardians hit 3 home runs total yesterday. So their power is come alive in the playoffs, which is good to see since they weren't really a big power team in the regular season. Should be an awesome battle in Game 3. I like Ciccone on the mound today. He has pitched very well this year at times for the Guardians, and he's had success against Detroit this season. Like I said before, I had a feeling the Guardians would lose Game 1, but bounce back and win Game 2 and Game 3. We'll see what happens. They did use the bullpen a lot yesterday, so they need at least 6 innings out of Ciccone today, maybe even 7, to feel good about using their bullpen heading into today. So that should be a good one. And then moving on now to the Padres and the Cubs. That'll be at 6:08 p.m. Yu Darvish is on the mound for San Diego. 5-5 record with a 5.38 ERA and a 1.18 whip on the season. He's going up against Jameson Taillon for the Cubs. He is 11-7 on the year with a 3.68 ERA and a 1.06 whip. Darvish did not face the Cubs this season, but last year in the postseason, he was very good for the Padres. In 2 outings in the postseason last year, 1.98 ERA with a .66 whip in 13 2/3 innings pitched. As for Taillon, he did face the Padres this season. He gave up 1 earned run in 5 1/3 innings pitched with a .94 whip. So now I'm going to move on and talk about Game 1 and 2 in this series. So in Game 1, the Cubs won that one 3-1. Their bullpen was great, 4 2/3 scoreless innings of relief pitching. Pivetta got the start for the Padres, allowing 2 home runs in that game. Those was only 2 runs allowed. He had 3 hits allowed, 9 strikeouts, and 5 innings pitched. In Game 2, the Padres shut down the Cubs, winning that one yesterday 3-0 to force a Game 3 behind a strong outing from their pitching staff. The Padres only allowed just 4 hits yesterday with 11 strikeouts and 1 walk, a dominant effort for them. In Game 3, I think the Padres take care of business today. They have a lot of veterans in their lineup, which I think can be a big advantage for them to make a run this postseason. Now moving on to the Red Sox and the Yankees. That Game 3 will now be at 8:08 p.m. Every single one of these Game 3 games were pushed back a little bit since the Dodgers took care of the Reds yesterday. That time slot at 9 o'clock opens up, so all the other games got pushed back a little just so the Red Sox and Yankees can be in primetime baseball. That game will be at 8:08 p.m. at Yankee Stadium. Connolly Early will be on the mound for the Red Sox. 1-2 record on the year for the left-handed pitcher. 2.33 ERA with a 1.09 whip. He'll be going up against the local kid from Walpole, Massachusetts, and former Northeastern Husky, Cam Schlittler, will be on the mound for the Yankees. 4-3 record on the year. 2.96 ERA with a 1.22 whip. As for Connolly Early, he's very young, only 23 years old. The left-handed pitcher has only pitched 19 1/3 innings in the major leagues. So this is obviously a big test for him tonight. He made his MLB debut less than a month ago on September 9th. So it's a lot of pressure to put on the kid at Yankee Stadium in a winner-go-home situation. We'll see how he does tonight. He has had very good numbers, though. I know it's a small sample size, but 13.5 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. He has 29 strikeouts and 19 1/3 innings pitched in his major league career, a 1.79 ERA plus. That's a very, very good stat line there. I know it's a very small sample size, but the 2.33 ERA, the 1.09 whip, the 13.5 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched, the 1.79 ERA plus, all of those are very, very impressive numbers. And like I said, I know it's a small sample size, but for a young pitcher that made his way up the minor league ranks this year, it's very impressive that he's able to obviously have that much success at the major league level in just about a month. And now obviously the Red Sox fate of their season is in the hands of Connolly Early tonight. As for the other side, Cam Schlittler, he's 24 years old, former Northeastern University Husky. Saw him pitch a lot at Northeastern. He's done very well for the Yankees this year. In his last 2 outings, he went 12 1/3 innings against the Baltimore Orioles, allowing only 1 earned run with 15 strikeouts and 2 walks. Overall, as a rookie, he had 10.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. In his last 9 outings, he has a 2.23 ERA. Throws really hard. His fastball will get up to 100. His average fastball is 98 miles an hour, which is in the 95th percentile in the major leagues. He has a 10.2% walk percentage, though, which is in the 18th percentile in the MLB. So he's going to walk some guys. The Red Sox need to take advantage of that tonight if they can get guys on base. He also throws the four-seam fastball 55% of the time. His cutter is his second favorite pitch. He throws 21% of the time. He has 50 strikeouts on the season on the four-seam fastball. So I'd expect the Red Sox to maybe guess fastball on some 2-strike counts tonight. We'll see how they do with that. On the year, though, This is a guy that had a lot of success. He's very young, only 24 years old, but ended up being the number 3 guy in the rotation. And just like Connolly Early, the fate of the Yankees season is in the hands of a rookie pitcher, just like the Red Sox with Connolly Early. Should be a great matchup. Yankee Stadium, 8:08 p.m. under the lights. You feel that cool, brisk feeling in the air. It's October. The leaves are changing color. It's a beautiful time of year with postseason baseball. You got college hockey starting up soon. The BC hockey team will be playing tomorrow against Quinnipiac. We're midway through the NFL season. The NBA season is beginning today with an exhibition game. The NHL season will be starting next week. The Bruins have their first game next Wednesday. We're midway through the college football season as well. It's a beautiful time of year, and there's nothing better than Red Sox Yankees. Win or go home, big situation, winner take all, and advance to the next round. So we'll see what happens tonight. Another thing I want to mention here, and this comes from a stat that was tweeted by Max Greenfield on Twitter. He said the Red Sox have a .311 weighted on base average this season versus right-handed fastballs above 97 miles an hour, which a .311 overall team weighted on base average is in the middle of the pack in the MLB for an overall, weighted on base average, regardless of pitch. A .311 team weighted on base average on the year is right in the middle of the pack on 15th in the MLB. The Sox need to be able to take advantage tonight if Schlittler misses with the fastball, whether he's wild and he's giving you chances to get guys on base with a walk, or if he misses with the fastball and leaves it in someone's wheelhouse like Trevor Story. The Red Sox need to execute and find any way possible to get runs across. This is a guy that throws very hard, so things aren't going to be easy. But at the same time, if a guy throws 100 miles an hour and you make good contact, the ball's going to go pretty far as well. It's just, the physics of the game of baseball. I expect the Red Sox to have Masataka Yoshida in this lineup tonight, maybe even as a cleanup hitter. He hit well as a cleanup hitter in the regular season in the small sample size he got as the number 4 hitter in the lineup. On the season, versus fastballs, he has a .306 batting average with a .435 slugging percentage. And if you look at it, he only has a 6.2% whiff rate against the fastball as well. So he's the best bat-to-ball player on this Red Sox team. He hit .309 even last season against the fastball. I expect him to be in the lineup tonight, considering Schlittler's a righty, Yoshida's a lefty, and Yoshida is great against fastballs. I expect Nick Sogard to be in the lineup tonight as well. He only has a 14% whiff rate versus fastballs this season, which is much better than the MLB league average, around 21% against four-seam fastballs. On the season, Sogard is hitting .277 against fastballs with a .322 expected batting average. So obviously tonight, with Schlittler throwing the fastball well over 50% of the time, I expect the Red Sox to put guys in the lineup tonight that are good against four-seam fastballs, since Schlittler throws it 55% of the time. Whether or not he throws it on 2 strike counts, you never know at the end of the day, but he does have 50 strikeouts on the year on that four-seam fastball. So I expect him to still stay true to that, at least for some of the game tonight. I expect the Red Sox to counter that tonight and put some guys in the lineup that have had success against four-seam fastballs on the season, like Sogard and Yoshida. Another thing I would consider, and this sounds pretty crazy, it's just something I thought of right before I was going to record this episode. What happens if the Red Sox went with Connor Wong over Carlos Narvaez and started Wong at catcher? As crazy as that sounds, Narvaez is hitting only .212 this season against fastballs, a 26% whiff rate against fastballs as well. And if you look at the last 7 regular season games heading into the playoffs, Narvaez was hitting only .160 with a .320 slugging percentage overall. He's 0 for 5 in the playoffs with 3 walks. In Connor Wong's last 38 games, he's hitting .238 to Narvaez's .212. And I know this isn't a slam dunk substitution where all of a sudden everyone's going to be happy. If Cora did this, a lot of people would probably be upset. And it would definitely be tough to lose Narvaez's arm because he's thrown a lot of guys out this season. But I feel like for some reason that Connor Wong could give this lineup a jolt and potentially make up for his struggles during the regular season. I think he could come up big. I don't know why, I just had a gut feeling that if Connor Wong was in this lineup tonight, he could come up big and have a big hit. And he hit better in the last few months. I know he still struggled overall, but he hit a little bit better in the last few months. And Narvaez, 0 for 5 in the playoffs, 3 walks. Those 3 walks were very big-time walks because it got pitch counts up for Max Fried, which is important. He saw a lot of pitches against Fried, and that definitely helped him get out of that game sooner, which that was part of the Red Sox strategy, try to get Max Fried out of the game sooner and then try to take advantage of the Yankees bullpen. Connor Wong versus fastballs this season, .220 batting average, so it's not great. Narvaez was hitting just .212 versus the fastball this season, but Wong only has a 14.9% whiff rate against fastballs this year. Narvaez's whiff rate against the fastball this year was 26%. So if you're going to get out, you want to at least have a chance to make it a productive out and maybe move a guy up, which is why putting the ball in play is so important. And that's why you potentially want to have that guy with a lower whiff rate in the lineup. I just had a gut feeling. Most people would probably disagree with me and tell me I'm crazy to put Wong in the lineup over Narvaez. But for some reason, I just have a feeling Wong could come up big tonight if he was given the opportunity. Here's a quick recap of games 1 and 2. In game 1, the Red Sox won 3-1, scoring 3 runs in the last 3 innings. The turning point in that game was in the 7th inning. The Red Sox had runners on 2nd and 3rd after a big-time double from Nick Sogard. Sogard took second base on a gutsy decision. It was a weak throw by Aaron Judge from right field. I think the Red Sox just caught him off guard, and he didn't expect it. Judge has been battling injuries, so that could have played a role as well, but I also don't think he expected Sogard to take second base there. Gutsy decision, but it worked out for the Red Sox. Next at bat was a pinch hit single on the first pitch by Masataka Yoshida to get both runs across. Yoshida is a guy I've stayed with through all of the ups and downs. Great bat-to-ball skills, and this is a guy that when he's healthy and he's locked in, he's one of the best hitters on the Red Sox and one of the best hitters in the game of baseball when you look at batting average over the last few seasons. Garrett Crochet was ridiculous in this game. 1 earned run, 11 strikeouts to no walks, with just 4 hits allowed in 7 2/3 innings pitched. He had 117 pitches. Alex Cora kept him in the game as long as he could in this one, and Crochet stayed strong, did his job to give the Red Sox a great chance to win this game. Aroldis Chapman loaded the bases in the 9th with no outs. It was bases loaded, no outs. The Red Sox were up 2. But Chapman got out of it, struck out Giancarlo Stanton, got a fly out of Jazz Chisholm, who was very upset that he wasn't in the lineup in game 1, which it's tough with Aaron Boone. He made the decision to not have Ben Rice and Jazz Chisholm in that lineup, considering that they were going up against a left-handed pitcher in Garrett Crochet, and neither one of them had success against him this year. And I know a lot of Yankees fans were upset about that, but it might not be Aaron Boone making these decisions. It could be the analytics staff or someone in the front office that's saying, hey, we don't want those guys in the lineup tonight because they struggle against Crochet and he's a left-handed pitcher. But at the end of the day, Jazz got out in the 9th inning, had an opportunity with bases loaded. He flew out, and then Trent Grisham struck out for the last out of the game. Max Fried was awesome in this game for the Yankees. 6 1/3 innings, 0 runs allowed, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 hits. He did have 102 pitches. Yankees fans are very mad with Boone about that as well for taking him out and making the switch to Luke Weaver. Weaver did struggle, allowing 2 hits and 2 runs with a walk. The Yankees bullpen is bottom 10 in ERA in the MLB, so it's tough to trust their bullpen, but I don't think necessarily Boone made a bad decision. Fried started to throw more pitches in his last 2 or 3 innings heading into that situation. He was already at 102 pitches, and Boone just had a gut feeling it was good to go to the bullpen there. I know it was a bad decision, and in hindsight, it wasn't, the best move. But at the end of the day, you can't go backwards. The Red Sox were starting to get long at-bats against Fried and were starting to put guys on base and get his pitch count up. So Boone had to pivot and go to the bullpen, and obviously that ended up maybe costing them the game. As for Game 2 last night, the Red Sox lost 4-3 in a nail-biter. The Yankees went up 2-0 on Brian Bayo in the first inning after a home run from Ben Rice. As I said, Rice was benched in Game 1, had the opportunity in Game 2 to bounce back and hit a home run in the first inning to right field. Bayo was pulled after just 2 1/3 innings last night, allowing 4 hits with 2 earned runs and a walk. He had good numbers against the Yankees this year heading into last night, but Alex Cora felt the need to take him out in that situation, which was definitely an aggressive move because now the Red Sox bullpen is taxed heading into tonight. So we'll see how that plays out. The Red Sox need probably 6 innings out of Connolly early, which, as I've mentioned before, is a lot to put on the young kid to really expect him to have to go 6 innings in a win-or-go-home game at Yankee Stadium under the lights. That's a lot to put on him, but Alex Cora last night was very aggressive. I think he thought we have to win Game 2 because if you get to a Game 3, it's going to be a tough situation, which it's never easy in the playoffs. But I think he was very much aggressive last night because he wanted to win last night and not even let it to get to a Game 3. He had trust in the Red Sox bullpen, which was very good all year, top 3 in ERA in the MLB. But obviously things didn't work out last night. In the top of the 3rd inning, the Red Sox had a 2-run single from Trevor Story to score Jarren Duran and Cedar Rafaela. Story also tied the game up in the 6th inning as well with a solo home run to center field. He was great last night for the Sox. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Aaron Judge had an RBI single on a line drive to left field with 2 outs. Jarren Duran couldn't corral the ball. I thought it could have maybe been an error. It was definitely a catchable ball. I know he had to travel a good amount of distance to get there, and he had to dive and try to make a play. But that's a ball that Duran usually brings in probably 90% of the time. His glove has definitely gotten better over the last few years, but couldn't bring that in last night. That ended up leading to a run. That would have been the 3rd out and got the Red Sox out of the inning. There was a 2-out walk by Justin Slayton, and then a wild pitch by Justin Slayton as well, and then that single by Judge. So I'm not blaming Duran for the entire inning going awry. Slayton had a walk and then a wild pitch, which allowed that run out, which If I remember correctly, it was Trent Grisham was able to go from first to second after that, and then on that single from Aaron Judge, he was able to score. So I don't completely blame, Jarren Duran for that inning, not going the Red Sox way. Slayton cannot allow the walk or the wild pitch. That gave the Yankees the chance to put that runner in scoring position, and that obviously ended up costing the Red Sox. I always say, as a pitcher, you need to limit walks because at the end of the day, if you're putting guys on base, it's giving the opposing team more chances to move that runners up, score more runs, and it's putting pressure on the defense to get those outs. If the Red Sox don't allow that walk, then obviously that run probably never happens. Who knows? Maybe, if he would have popped out, that would have been the third out of the inning and ended the inning. But obviously he walked, then the wild pitch, and then the single by Judge, and that definitely, did hurt the Red Sox in that inning. In the top of the seventh inning, the Red Sox had 2 runners on base and no outs before Cedar Rafaela tried to bunt on a breaking ball that was popped into the air and was an out. That was a big-time dead out for the Red Sox. They definitely need better bunting fundamentals than that. Like I've already mentioned, if you're going to have a dead out, it's just a real killer, especially considering you need to move runners up. You need productive outs, and having a dead out like that is just not good in that situation. Masataka Yoshida came up in another pinch hit situation and did his job with 2 outs, singled on a ground ball to Jazz Chisholm. Chisholm made a great play, diving and stopping the ball from getting into the outfield. That saved at least a run and maybe was the difference in that game. Tried to make a throw to Ben Rice at first base. Rice couldn't corral it. The ball got by him a little bit and went into foul ground. And then Nate Eaton rounded third base but was held there by Kyle Hudson, the third base coach for the Red Sox. He could have maybe have gone to home, and it would have probably taken a good throw and a good tag to get him out. But at the same time, there's 2 outs. Trevor Story coming up. The Red Sox knew Trevor Story was hitting very well all night, and it's obviously a bang-bang play. You really have to make a decision in a split second. The Red Sox made the decision to hold him at third base there. Kyle Hudson thought it was the best move, held Nate Eaton at third base, didn't let him round third and go home, and then Trevor Story in the next at-bat ended up lining out, and that was the third out of the inning. What can you do at the end of the day? That's baseball. Baseball, very much like any other sport, there's always going to be something you look back at and say, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. But that's obviously not the way you can play the game. You can't ever go backwards. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Garrett Whitlock got 2 quick outs. But then, like I already mentioned, you can't walk guys, especially late in the playoffs and late innings. Every single at-bat is heightened. Every single pitch is heightened. The importance of every single pitch is that much more significant than, the regular season. Garrett Whitlock walked Jazz Chisholm, and then that was followed by an RBI single by Austin Wells, which ended up being the game-winning run. Nate Eaton tried to make a play off the ricochet in right field, made a great throw to the plate, just a little bit late, wasn't in time to get Jazz, who dove in head first and was safe at home plate. Then Peyton Tolley came in the game for the Red Sox, bases loaded, 2 outs. Got the job done, though, getting a ground out to end that inning. But tough game there for the Red Sox in the Bronx. I expect it to be a very good game tonight in Game 3. My prediction before the series began was that the Red Sox would win this series in 3 games. And at that time, I knew Connolly Early would probably be the guy they would go with in Game 3. I still have faith in Early to come up big tonight. Hopefully the Red Sox can take care of business. It's a lot of stress to put on Connolly Early, though, and I just saw a stat from OptaStats on Twitter. Connolly Early will be the first pitcher ever to start a winner-take-all postseason game within 30 days of his MLB debut. So a lot is in the hands of Early tonight. As I mentioned, something that the Red Sox have to take advantage of is knowing that Schlittler likes throwing that four-seam fastball with 2 strikes. 50 of his 84 strikeouts came on the four-seam fastball, and then 34 strikeouts combined on the cutter, curveball, and sinker. So when he has a 2-strike count, he likes to go to the fastball. That's something that the Red Sox have to try to pick up on and try to take advantage of potentially. Schlittler is a very good pitcher, though. I saw him pitch a lot at Northeastern, and he's had a lot of success so far as a rookie. Schlittler is a guy that got his fastball up very heavily from his time at Northeastern, now in the major leagues. If I remember correctly, he's probably at like 93 at Northeastern, and now in the major leagues, he's hitting 98 as his average fastball. Connolly Early was around 90 in college, and now he'll get around 97 miles an hour with his fastball. So both of these guys worked really hard to get to the position they're in, and obviously have had a lot of success as a rookie. So we'll see what tonight holds. Anyways, that'll wrap up this episode. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. As always, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.